Hey guys, Janelle here. Today I want to teach you guys a really quick and easy way to add bokeh to your photos. Now, I am not a professional photographer by any means, so I do not always get those wonderful photos with the really cool bokeh in the back. You can see my my bokeh going on back here is lackluster, to say the least. So I love this little picture of my boy sitting in front of his great grandma's Christmas tree, and I just wanted to add a little bit more magic to it so that it felt as special as it really is. And I've been playing around a little bit with a few things and just kind of adding some different effects here. And I want to show you guys how to do this too. So, I mean, I think that's a huge difference from here to here. And you know what? It may not be perfect. I know that that's probably not exactly what the bokeh would look like, but I don't care. For me, it's not about how realistic this effect is. It's just the fact that it's fun and feels a little magical, and I love this look around Christmas time. So I decided I wanted to share with you guys how you can create it for yourself. So I'm going to go back to my original photo here, and obviously this would probably work best if you did have some sort of lighting behind you so that you could kind of play off that when you create your bokeh. But I'm going to go ahead and start with my brush tool. And then I'm going to go over here to my brush panel. If you don't have that, just go to Window and click Brush. And here it is. It'll pop open for you. Now, to start, we're just going to grab a hard, round brush. It doesn't matter what any of the preferences are because we're going to change all those as long as you start with a hard, round brush. And I'm going to change my size here to probably be like close to about 400. Your size, you may want to play with it a little bit. It may vary depending on the resolution and size of the photo that you're adding the bokeh to. Now your spacing, we're going to increase quite a bit here. Let's go to about 140%. Sure, why not? Now we're going to go to our shape dynamics. And I'm going to change my size jitter to 100%. And that's just going to kind of randomize the size every time the brush brushes itself on our canvas here. And the minimum diameter, I'm going to change to about 50 because I don't want that small to be that small. Okay, and I'm going to change one more thing here, the roundness jitter. Now you can see those are still perfectly round circles. Well, I'm going to mess that up a little bit. Close to about 10%, and it just makes it so they're not that perfect circle because I know it takes a pretty expensive camera and lens to achieve that, and that's not something that I have, and so it just kind of adds to the realism for me there. Now we're going to grab our scattering selection here, and we're going to change scatter from 0% to 1,000. Scatter that baby up, and then we're going to change control to fade, and I want to change the fade number here to 10. That's just going to bring it in a bit. Now let's see, count. I like it between 3 and 5. You can see the higher you go, the more concentrated it is, and so I'm going to stick with 3. My count jitter, let's go with about 25%. And again, I'm going to turn my control to fade, and I'm going to change it to 1 this time. Alright, now we're going to come down here to transfer. And I'm going to set my opacity jitter to about 60%. And I think we are ready to start brushing here. So let's go ahead and I'm going to create a new layer first because I don't want to paint on my actual picture. I'm just going to label this Bokeh 1. And then I'm going to grab a color using my eyedropper tool here. And actually, I'm still going to edit that a little bit. I just want to lighten it up just a little so that it is not so stark, but we're going to change that anyways. And now, grab my brush tool back here, and you can just kind of start painting on your canvas. You can hold it down, you can lift it up, whatever looks good to you. And if you get some where you don't want it, just Control or Command Z, or you can, of course, just erase it here. Okay, so there's my first layer. I'm going to go ahead and do a new layer. Let's label this Bokeh 2. And I'm going to change colors here. Now you don't have to change colors. I just thought this was kind of fun. Again, just being creative. I don't care about how super realistic it is. I just love how fun this feels. So now I can go ahead and paint some more here. We got some going on over here, maybe a few more down there. I'm just going to erase this one off of his face here. Go back to my brush tool. Okay, and you can be done. You can add another color. Let's see, let's go Bokeh 3 here. And this time I'm going to change more of kind of to like a white. Okay, and again, add a little bit going on here. Erase these little pieces here. Okay, and now what I want to do, I'm going to go back and grab that first bokeh layer, and I'm going to come up to my filter, go to blur, and Gaussian blur, and you can change it between 10 and maybe like 15-ish, somewhere around there. And you can see that it just kind of softens that up a little bit. If I were to undo, okay, and then I'm going to grab my next layer. And you could add that same blur by just hitting your Gaussian blur here, or I'm going to actually change it a little bit. And change it to about a 9. Okay, so you can see the before and the after there. And I'm going to do that last one. Filter, blur, Gaussian blur. This time I'm going to do even less. Let's go maybe like a 7. Okay, and now I want you to play with your opacities. So start bringing all these down. 70%, 50%. Okay, see that one's at 26, 36. We need to change this white one just a little bit. I feel like it's a little heavy. Okay. Yeah, that is starting to look really fun. And then I'm going to add a few more layers here. And this time I just kind of want to give it a little bit of a gradient coming in from this bottom corner here. So I'm going to grab my gradient tool, maybe hidden under your paint bucket, but here's your gradient. And then I'm going to grab probably this. Well, let's kind of go with that orange again. And you want to make sure that it's set from color to transparent. And so where you start will be the color, and where you end will be how it blends into transparent. So I'm going to start here in the corner. I'm going to just kind of bring it up here. Okay, and then I'm going to reduce the opacity on that just a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to do one more, another new layer. And this time I'm going to come from this corner. And we can play with the opacity there a little bit. About 65%. So yeah, there we go. So this is what I started with, and this is what I'm ending with. And you can see it just, again, it has that kind of magical feel. I love the bokeh. If you're not a fan of the multicolor, don't do it. Stick with the same color through the whole thing. If you want to try, you may even want to do just a bigger size, which you could absolutely do. Go back to your brushes here. Grab my brush, and if you like this setting and you want to save it, just click this little new brush preset down here, and I'm just going to label it Bokeh. And then when you come to your brush presets, if you scroll to the bottom, it will be there, so you don't have to put in those settings every time. It's just there for you. And if you decided you wanted to try something a little bigger, maybe that was just not quite realistic. I want a little too much there. Okay, some over here a little bit, and then again you can just play with your opacity. Let's give it a little bit of a blur, filter, blur, Gaussian blur. I'm going to say about 10 this time. And there you go. And if you need to bump it down with your opacity a little bit, you can. But yeah, just kind of a really super fun way to add bokeh to your photos. It doesn't take too long, and then once you've got your preset, you can do it to any picture in a matter of seconds. So hopefully this was something that you guys enjoyed, and you can add a little magic to your Christmas photos by using this little bokeh trick. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to leave me a comment or contact me in the forums, and I will do my best to help you guys out. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll talk to you later.